Last weekend we dropped everything and went and bought this car. It was a spontaneous decision, and only time will tell whether or not it was a wise one. My motivation for the purchase was that I like these cars, 6th generation Chevy Corvette, and I feel like I got a really good deal on it. And that's my primary concern when I buy a car. I enjoy owning and driving interesting vehicles, but not enough to be willing to lose a bunch of money in the process. And that's what happens when you buy something at retail price and finance it, especially on top of that. Hopefully I've avoided that in this situation because I paid a low price, but there was a reason for that. There's a few issues with the car. The driver's seat is torn, the navigation doesn't work right, and the rear view mirror is wobbly. But the really striking and unusual flaw with this car is that a large portion of the clear coat has deteriorated and is peeling off. I'm not sure of the reason. The previous owner seemed to think that it was defective paint, but I looked a little bit closer and the paint on the license plate has the same symptoms as the failing paint on the car. I've seen a lot of license plates and none of them have had the paint falling off, so I tend to think that the problem was environmental. Maybe the car lived next to an acid factory or something. But this really ugly paint job is an interesting case because it's difficult to put a value on it. Some people who are shopping for a car, especially a car like this that's supposed to look nice, wouldn't even consider something with a devastated clear coat. However,
I'm pretty sure you're going bald.
Did you know that someone in the comment section accused this of being a midlife crisis car?
Are you old enough to have a midlife crisis?
Well, obviously I'm bald enough to get called out on. Anyway, some people might not be so bothered by the paint. They may be more interested in the driving experience and the performance. The condition of the paint definitely deserves a price concession. The question is, how much? I'll go into the numbers in a minute and tell you how much I paid for the car, and I'm really interested to hear whether or not you think I'm going bald. I mean, whether or not you think I got a good deal. But first, let's go for a little drive. This car has push button starting. I'm amused by simple things. My dirt driveway is almost too steep for this car. This living situation in the cabin is supposed to be only temporary. It's August now, and I'm really hoping that we move soon because with anything other than our four-wheel drive pickup, we will be stuck at the bottom of a muddy dirt road in the wet season. But right now, no problem getting up the driveway as long as I'm easy on the throttle. All right, I made it up out of the holler and onto the open road. This car is a 2007 model. It's a front engine, rear wheel drive, 2-seater convertible. As I understand it, the Corvette's main claim to fame is that it offers high performance at a relatively bargain price compared to its competition. This car, when it was new, cost about $65,000, and for $65,000 you got 400 horsepower and a car that could do the quarter mile in less than 13 seconds and go around the Nürburgring track in less than 8 minutes. Cars of that caliber usually cost a lot more money. Examples are the Porsche 911, the Ferrari 360, and even the Audi R8, as long as you got it in the V8 model. So this car was a bargain when it was new. Anything that could come close to it performance-wise cost at least $20,000 more. And that value in comparison to its peers, I think has even been amplified as the car's gotten older. However, that low price comes with a little bit of a cost. Even though it's got a lot of power and it goes fast and it's quick around the racetrack, it's still kind of cheaply made and plasticky feeling compared to a more exotic car like a Porsche. You know what? No, we're not going to do this. Forget about what I just said. Every road test I've ever listened to about the Corvette complains about how cheap and plasticky the interior is, and I think that's the only reason I even mentioned it. It doesn't matter whether or not the dashboard is tactilely pleasing. What matters is how quick this goes around a corner and what happens when you push your right foot down. If you don't like the way the interior feels, wear gloves, or just stay at home and lay around in your satin sheets all day. Since I bought this car, I've driven it probably about 350 miles, and some things that I've noticed that I enjoy are the heads-up display. It tells you the engine RPM, the miles per hour, and I think you can even adjust it to tell you some G-forces and some information about the engine. Even though the navigation doesn't work, I like the idea and I might try to fix it. And when the radio is off, you have this nice graphic that reminds you of what type of car you're in. And just in case this is broken, it's repeated on the right side of the dashboard. And if you fall out and the car drives away without you, it's on the back bumper too, lest ye forget. Did I mention I really like the push button start? I feel like I'm in a race car. I'm not used to vehicles that were built in this century. Another neat thing about this car is that without a lot of effort, you can get fuel economy in excess of 25 miles per gallon, which is pretty good for a sports car that can go 150 miles per hour. But I don't think I'll ever drive it that fast. This car is built on a steel chassis with plastic body panels and a balsa wood floorboard, which I think is kind of interesting. This is the 6th generation of the Corvette. The Corvette is one of the longest continuously running car models in existence. The first one was built in 1953, and I didn't even look that up. That's just how much of an enthusiast I am. In fact, the Corvette has a pretty loyal following. I've noticed when I pass other Corvettes on the road, the majority of the time, the driver will give a wave, kind of like when you're driving a motorcycle. So there's a certain camaraderie there. But I think what I like most about this car so far is that not only does the radio work, but so does the air conditioner, which is something I can't say for either of my other two vehicles. I've had the AC off for this video because I don't want the wind noise, but oh, the luxury. This wobbly mirror is irritating. I think this is something I'll try to fix. I'm not sure what to do about the trashed paint though. I don't know if I should just drive it as is or if it would be cost effective to repair. I'll have to crunch some numbers and figure it out. And speaking of money, we've been driving for a while. I think I'll turn back around, head back to the cabin, and get into the financial end of things.
Looking pretty spiffy.
You know, I put the top down, okay? It's fun. I like it. And it's not a midlife crisis.
Of course not.
I'm barely out of high school.
Right.
Let's go inside. Outside, actually. Step into my office. Let's try to figure out if this car was a good investment. Before I made an offer on the Corvette, I looked at a few data points to try to figure out what it was worth. I went on Craigslist and I couldn't find a 2007 convertible with 95,000 miles, but I found a few that were close enough to give me some insight. This is a 2005 convertible with 77,000 miles and they're asking $23,000 for it. Here's another 05 with fewer miles, 56,000, and the asking price is $23,000. Another 2005 for only $15,900 with 117,000 miles. And lastly, I just put this one in mainly for giggles. $36,000 gets you a 2005 with 56,000 miles. So you can almost buy two of these for one of these. So the prices are pretty reasonable to me, except for this outlier, which I basically attribute to wishful thinking. After looking at Craigslist, I moved over to eBay, and I like eBay because you can look at completed listings. So you can see exactly how much somebody was willing to pay for a car rather than just how much somebody was asking for it. This is a 2007 Corvette Convertible, which is the same year as mine, and it sold for $15,000. It only has 73,000 miles, so that looks like a pretty good deal until you look right here. It has a rebuilt title. So this car was smashed to the point that the insurance company didn't think it was worth repairing. Then somebody bought it at an auction and then made it look nice again. So cars with that type of title usually carry a lower price tag because you don't know what that thing's gone through. Here's another one with a reconstructed title. It's a 2005 and somebody bought that for $15,100. And here's a 2005 model with a clear title and only 74,000 miles, and it sold for $15,500. So I think somebody got a good deal on this one if it's as nice as it looks like in the listing. The last place I looked at to get a feel for the Corvette's value was Kelley Blue Book. I typed in the make, model, year, and all the options, and private party value in fair condition for this car. And I think the car is in a pretty solid fair condition. What do you think, Jen?
Yeah, it's fair.
It's fair. $15,700 is what I should expect to pay or sell that car for. Just out of curiosity, I looked at the same car in good condition, and the price bumps up to $17,400. And if I happen to have the same car in very good condition, I'm a far cry from that, but it's interesting to know that it would sell for $18,500. So, what did I pay for the car? After it was all said and done, the price of the car, the tax, all the fees, the transportation, getting the car and coming back, the food, the car cover, because all of these trees constantly rain sap down on a paint job. It's nice that I don't have a really great paint job in some ways. After the dust settled, my total investment is $14,700. I think I got a good price. Last week when I went to get the car, I was so excited. I thought it was a super price. Now that I've settled down a little bit, I think it's fair. I don't think I'll lose too much money on the deal. The question is, should I leave the paint alone or should I do something to it? If the car was in good condition, which I think a new paint job would qualify it for, I could probably sell it for about $17,000. But I think the retail price for a paint job that would be worthy of a Corvette would cost at least $3,500 if I paid somebody to do it. So there I am. It's probably not worth it. I've got a few things up my sleeve to try to either cut that cost down, do some of the work myself, or I might just drive it and not worry about the paint. It adds a little bit of automotive patina. I'll toss it around, let you know what I come up with. The next project I jump into is going to be something completely different, so you can expect something other than the Corvette for the next video. Thanks for watching.